Hey everybody, this is F. Dan Rivera once again coming to you live. And here I am once again talking to you about the topic of mass shootings. It's 2018, June 6th to be exact. And, this year a whole lot of things happened specifically in Parkland, Florida. And there was a big shooting going on, and a lot of people demonstrated and even sent a lot of blame up to, the White House, and a lot of Facebook groups got started. A lot of noise was made probably for about a good month. But in the end of it all, nothing was really gained out of the process and out of all that noise. And today, I'm here to tell you guys why there are no solutions to the problem that we're continuously having in the nation, and why you might even be contributing towards the creation of a future problem. You know, I hate to say it, but but it's true, guys. We got so many people screaming, blaming guns, blaming this, blaming that. But I want to just share a little story with you. So after the Parkland shootings, I joined a couple of Facebook groups, and some of them were like Stop Mass Shootings, Mothers Against Mass Shootings, and on and on. It was really a quite a long list of groups that I ended up joining. During the process, I tried to open up with some dialogue as far as what the problem is and what we might be able to do to solve this problem, and at least to be able to work together. So I ended up creating a post. I ended up making this beautiful flyer, right? At least according to me, because I'm not that much of a creator, but but it definitely said, hey, work with me to to create a solution. Let's get something done. Let's work together. And in that flyer, I talked about, I wrote basically about the mental illness, the self-esteem issue, the self-image, codependency, basically all of the things that are really a cause of mental illness. And if you know about mental illness, then you know that mental illness is a state of mind, and it's a state of mind caused by thinking. In any event, so here I put this flyer out on these Facebook groups, and what ended up happening was that I remember the first day I put it out, this girl attacked me. She said, "How dare you put an ad that you can help, or that you can solve, or that you can do something about mental illness? Do you have any idea how stupid you are? And the nerve, and condemn this, condemn that." So this lady let me have it. And she explained to me that her condition of mental illness is irreparable, irreversible, and that there is nothing that she can do. And I responded, "You're absolutely right. If you think you can't, you will not. If you think you can, you will." And most people who are in the personal growth field will tell you that whatever you have faith in will be realized. Most people have faith that the problem is out there. And I believe it was Einstein who said, so long as you think the problem is out there, that is the problem. I'm not sure if it was Einstein or Stephen Covey, but either way, so long as you think the problem is out there, that is the problem. We're living in a time right now where our government is no longer helping people understand the responsibility they take as citizens of the United States of America. Right now, a lot of our government officials are just looking for votes, and they're poisoning the thoughts. They're feeding oppressive thoughts and beliefs onto people so that they don't hold any responsibility towards what is going on in their very lives. If people are without a job, somebody will say, it's not your fault. It's X, Y, or Z's fault, but definitely not yours. And so maybe you're one of those people out there. You believe that the problem is the Second Amendment or the First or the Third or the Fifth or the 20th. Does it even matter, right? Does it even matter? Maybe you think you're not the problem. It's out there. Well, I got some bad news to tell you. You are the problem. You can't solve anything like that. But I do understand where you're coming with that conclusion. You see, mass killers are being created in the United States because of mental illness, and mental illness has a deeper root, right? In It's really a state of mind, as I already explained, but it's also caused, and if you want to get more specific in the state of mind, it could be caused by anger. It could be caused by shame, by fear, rejection. There are many depression. There are many causes of mental illness, but there is only one solution or one way out, and it's to deal with it and to realize that there is a problem and to work towards the solution of these problems. If you or if you know anybody in your family who has mental illness, let me just tell you right now, medication is not the permanent solution. It requires a lot more than just that. And if you think that the cause of all these shootings is Marco Rubio because he supported the NRA, and let me just be clear, I don't have any guns. I don't own guns. But here's what I can tell you. The problem that you're having in your community is not in the hands of somebody thousands of miles away. The problem in your household with your brothers and sisters, the issues you're having with the loved ones in your life are not caused by other people. They might be caused by you. I'm reminded about during this whole Parkland shooting, one of the girls from Cuban spoke out about how basically she knew that this guy, the shooter, was like a freak, that the dude had a problem, and that she was glad that they treated him bad. And she was glad that, that they put the guy down, right? She really, on TV, went out to say that. And if you were to just pause and think about that, what she's actually saying is that she contributed to the breakout, to the situation in the Parkland, Florida school shooting. Here's one of the big problems why liberals are creating mass shooters. Because they're defending people when they're not doing right. So just imagine this. Imagine that I was failing in school. And so my parents were giving me a hard time, and that somebody were to come to my defense and would enable me to continue to fail. What would the end result? Would it really make me feel better about myself that somebody was defending me? Or would it actually enrage me towards that person because I know they're standing up for me for a wrong cause? Think about that. Imagine that somebody were to be leading me to drink poison every day. Do you think that a person would love that person, say, you know what, let him drink the poison. It's just a little bit of poison. It's not going to hurt. He needs the poison, the medication. He needs the bad grades. The bad grades, let's just accept them for being a failure. Let's set a path to allow somebody to be a failure, a drug addict, to be irresponsible, to be incompetent. If you were to encourage a person to continue down that path, let me tell you, friends, what would end up happening is that in the end, at the end of the time, this person would actually turn on you. Could you imagine that? You spend years babying and taking care of somebody, so that including them, trying to make them feel good, but knowing that you have to make them feel good in their lowest standard, in the lowest state, and encouraging them to continue in the lowest state. And then later on, they end up turning on you. And then blaming you as a pathway to continue in failure. And imagine that they came back and bit you. That's exactly what's going on. You see, all sickness is in the mind. It first begins in the mind and then it spreads to the body. So many people, nowadays, we have a lot of people who believe that basically that we have no spirit, that we have, that there is no God, that there is no this. And so they neglect a fourth dimension in their lives. We are body, mind, heart, and soul. If you were to work out all day long, but you don't read books, you don't train your your brain, there's no way that you're going to feel good about yourself. If you were to read too many books and not work out, you're also, you're going to struggle with your health. If you read, you work out, and you have bad relationships, you're going to have a very hard time. Relationships are a very, very integral part of us living here on the earth. And even more important than that is our spirit. We are four-dimensional beings, but many of us are acting here like we have two dimensions, mind and body. And sometimes, we reject certain people, and in that rejection, ladies and gentlemen, we're creating mass shooters. If you could take anything from this time right now, people that are being rejected, and there are many forms of rejection. For example, one form of rejection is to just flatly say, hey, you know what? I want nothing to do with you, and that's it. But another way of rejection is also to misguide or misdirect. Basically, to not invest your time. It's like just saying, hey, continuing on the back path, just don't ask me for any of your time. I encourage you, I support you, just don't ask me for time. Don't ask me to sit down and to teach you how to do math. Don't ask me to be your workout partner. Don't ask me to go out with you. Don't ask me. Isn't that also a form of rejection? It is. There's not just one. There's many dimensions. There's many views. There's many aspects to all of the things that we're trying to talk about. So if you're a liberal and you encourage bad behavior, whatever the behavior may be, there are consequences. That's why when I went onto that Facebook group, I was like super shocked that as I was trying to reach out and to build bridges and to look for permanent solutions towards the reparation of people's minds, right? People that become shooters are sick in the mind, their spirit, their heart. They're sick. But they can be cured, but they're still sick. When I tried to reach out, I was told that they cannot be cured. And imagine that. So in that case, since people cannot be cured of their mind, of their spirit, of their soul, of their heart, that we might as well just give up on them and accept them and give them medication and dope them up and put them in a mental ward. And that's where I disagree the most, is because we do have there are ways to solve people's problems, but it just does not happen by giving people medication and letting them solve themselves. People need to be mentored. Mentored. That's what we're talking about here. Can we mentor people away from mental illness? Can we do that? Or are you too busy fighting for causes that are just not that important? Do you want to help the mentally ill? Do you want to help them? If you do want to help them, let me tell you something. Mentor them. If you really care as much as you say you care, mentor people in need. Don't just stick a book in their mouth and kick them in the butt on the way out. No, I'm talking about take your time and mentor them. If you really want to change and solve a lot of the mass shootings that are going on in America, why don't you take the time and mentor people and stop having the government try to solve your problems and inviting the government into your home to solve your problems, because nobody cares as much, nor should anybody care as much as you. So if you're an enabler, it's time to think twice. If you think the problem is out there, that is the problem. Until next time, guys, I'm F. Dan Rivera. Thank you for your time.